Well, it's day 4 of the Ready Set Launch Challenge. This is the last day of the challenge, and honestly, I'm a little bit sad because this has been so much fun to do this with all of you. But I'm also excited because today we get to be planning your launch and mapping it out on the calendar. And if you know anything about me, I love planning, I love making lists, and we get to make some pretty cool lists today. So let's jump into it. Okay, so as you're gearing up to pull off your launch, there are a lot of different things that you need to do, different pieces of content you need to create, and it can be a bit overwhelming. So here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to make a massive to-do list of everything that you can think of that you need to do, because A, that's going to be totally overwhelming, and B, you'll probably forget a lot of things. So here's what we're going to do instead. You're going to make multiple different lists of different categories of things you need to do. So on one of them, you might make a list of the blog posts that you're going to write leading up to your launch. So list out all the different titles for the blog posts that you need to write. Then on another one, you need to make a list of the emails that you will send to your list. This could include emails that promote your pre-launch content, your blog posts, and also emails that will start to sell your product as you're actually getting close to the launch, and emails that you'll send during launch week. You also might make lists for videos that you need to record or social media posts that you need to write. And then separately, you should write a list of everything that you need to do aside from creating that content. So for example, you might need to send some emails, start your Facebook ads, set up landing pages. There are lots of different things that you need to do in order to get started with your launch. So how I like to plan out my launch is once I have all these different lists, then I create multiple different calendars. So let's say that I'm launching over January and February. I'll print out blank January and February calendars, multiple copies of each January and each February. And then I'll create sets for the different parts of my launch. So on one set, I might say emails to send to list. And so I have a January emails calendar and a February emails calendar. And then I map out all the different emails that I'm going to send to my list on these calendars so that whenever it comes to the day that I mail my list and I'm like, what should I say to them? I look on there and I see exactly what I'm supposed to say to them. Another of the calendars I normally call launch to-do list, and so these are things that I actually need to do, and it might say write blog post or set up landing page. Another calendar that I normally create is a content calendar that shows when different blog posts are coming out, when I'm releasing videos, things like that. And then the last one that I create is a launch events calendar, and that shows things like when I'm starting a challenge, or when the cart is opening, when the cart is closing, when the price is going up, all the different parts of that. Now, if you don't schedule everything out, then probably things are going to slip through the cracks, and you'll also be very overwhelmed. So I would highly recommend using this system of multiple calendars. If you really like having everything on the computer, I have a great option for you. You can use Google Calendars, and you can actually create different calendars for each different part of your launch and have each of them be different colors, or you can just put the events on your calendar and have them be different colors, but then you can't sort them in quite the same way. So if you make these different calendars for different aspects of your launch, so one Google Calendar is your content calendar, one of them is your launch events calendar, and so on, then you'll be able to click on the different calendars and see one of them at a time, or you can click on all of them and have them all show up at the same time if you want to be totally overwhelmed. Okay, so now let's talk about predicting your profits, because this is really fun, and also because it can be very motivating as you are going through your launch and you're doing all the work to pull off this launch, and you're like, am I actually going to see any results from it? It can be really helpful to be backed up by some math. So predicting your profits is actually pretty easy. All you have to do is multiply your conversion rate times your audience size to figure out how many sales you'll probably make. So normal conversion rates are somewhere between 1 and 10%. So let's use 2%, 5%, and 10% because those can be pretty common numbers, and probably you'll either have 2% or 5%. Okay, so I know that might sound overwhelming, but here's what we're going to do. Let's say your audience is 100 people and you have a 2% conversion rate, you will make 2 sales. If your audience is 100 people and you have 5% conversion rate, you will make 5 sales. If your audience is 100 people and you make 10% conversion rate, you will make 10 sales. Pretty simple, right? So if your audience is 600 people, then just multiply that times each of those conversion rates and you will figure out how many sales you can potentially make. And like I said, 2 or 5% is probably the most likely, but I've definitely seen plenty of people actually achieve that 10% as well. Now, next, you probably want to know exactly how much profit you will create. And that is even easier because all you have to do is multiply the sales times how much you sell your product for. So let's say you're selling a course for $500 and you're expecting to make 10 sales, then you'll make $5,000. If you're selling a course for $500 and you make 20 sales, you will make $10,000. Pretty simple, right? So now here's where things get even more fun. So right now you are probably figuring it out based on the current size of your audience. So maybe right now you have an audience of 500 people, so you're multiplying 500 times those different conversion rates and then times your sales price and figuring out how much money you can make right now. But what if you ran some Facebook ads or some other type of advertising to really grow your list in the process? So let's say you spent a few $100s on Facebook ads and you added 200 new people to your list. Let's say you're selling a course for $500 and your list was already at 200 people. So if you don't run the ads, you have 200 people, let's say a 5% conversion rate, you make 10 sales and you make $5,000. If you do run the ads, let's say you spend $500 on ads, you add 200 people to your list, now your list is 400 people, you launch, you get that 5% conversion rate, you make 20 sales, and you earn $10,000. Now you did spend $500 on ads, but I think that you'd be willing to spend that $500 on ads if it meant that you were making $10,000 instead of $5,000, right? So your profit ends up being $9,500. Now, that is not the crazy 6-figure launch that everybody likes to talk about, but it is a solid 4-figure launch, and I think you would be pretty delighted with those results. Now, these numbers make it pretty obvious that investing in ads is worth it. But if you're like most small business owners I know, your marketing budget is pretty limited, and you can probably barely afford the ads themselves. Even that is probably stretching it a little bit. And the part that we're kind of ignoring in this picture is that in order to get good results from Facebook ads, you normally need to hire a very skilled ads manager who can actually run your ads effectively. And when your marketing budget is small and you can only afford to spend a few $100 on ads, you probably can't also afford to pay an ads manager thousands of dollars to run your ads, right? Most ads managers charge at least $1,000, if not $2,000 or $3,000 a month, and they expect your minimum ads budget to be at least a few $1,000s every month. I realize that this can be a big struggle for a lot of online entrepreneurs because I know that it was a big struggle for me when I was first starting out. In fact, for that whole first year, I didn't invest in ads, mostly because I didn't have any money to hire anyone to help me, and I was really worried that any money I spent on the ads would be completely wasted. There were several times when I dabbled in ads and I spent $50 or $100 here or there, but it was just money down the drain. I didn't get any results from it because I didn't know what I was doing, and I wasn't sure enough of my skill to be willing to invest more money and actually see results from it. When you just are dabbling and you're just spending a little bit of money here or there, the money is really just wasted because it's not enough money for you to learn from what you're doing or from Facebook's algorithm to really kick in and help your ads do better. And that's why I created my brand new program, Launch Like a Boss. For so long, I was stuck launching like an amateur. I was using free methods to promote my launch. I wasn't making any money, which is basically the definition of an amateur, right? And I was definitely not launching like a boss or like the owner of a real company. It took me so much trial and error before I finally figured out how to run my ads effectively, and I ended up consulting with a lot of different Facebook ads managers and paying out a lot of money so that I could have the knowledge for myself. I didn't want to be paying someone every single month to run my ads for me, and I also didn't want to be completely trusting the success of my launch to someone else. I wanted to be able to create success for myself so that I was actually in control of what was happening. And if my ads weren't creating the results that I wanted them to, then I needed to be able to understand exactly what was wrong so that I could change my strategy and get the results that I was after. So I learned how to run my own Facebook ads, and at first I didn't get very good results. But at this point, I've launched a few dozen times, and I figured out some strategies that really helped me to get the best results possible, even with a small ad ad budget. It's made a huge difference in my business because I went from those failed launches that didn't make any sales to now making thousands of dollars every time I launch. Beyond that, I also help my marketing clients with their own launches now, and they're pretty impressed with the results too. It's taken many of their businesses from small, struggling businesses that were barely making any profit to big businesses that are easily supporting their owners. The whole point of Launch Like a Boss is that a lot of new entrepreneurs and small business owners can't afford to hire an expensive ad manager for thousands of dollars every month. So I've priced Launch Like a Boss really carefully so that you'll actually be able to afford it even if you're working with a small advertising budget. But you also have to understand that Launch Like a Boss isn't just a Facebook ads course. There's lots of Facebook ads courses out there, and they just teach you how to run the ads, and they don't even teach you how to actually get good results with the ads. They just show you how to set up the ads and then they stop there. And then there's some Facebook ads courses that show you how to get some pretty good results with the ads and how to get a lot of people to click on your ads for not very much money. And that's great, but if you have a lot of people click on your ads, but you aren't able to convert those people into customers, all that money you spend on ads pretty much just goes down the toilet. Think about it. If you spent $500 on ads and you got thousands of people to click on your ad, but then nobody bought, then that's just $500 you wasted. So that's exactly what makes Launch Like a Boss different. We don't just stop there. First, I show you exactly how to set up the ads. We start at a really beginner level, and then we work our way up to some much more advanced strategies that can help you get amazing results. But that's only the first 60% or so of the program. In the second part of the program, I show you how I build sales funnels for my marketing clients so that they can actually convert the clicks they get on their ads into paying customers. Basically, in Launch Like a Boss, I teach you the exact strategies and systems that I use with my own marketing clients so that you can be your own Facebook ad manager. You can be your own marketing agent, you can run your own ads, and you can create a successful launch for yourself without having to rely on another business to produce those results for you. This saves you a whole lot of money, and it really puts you in control of the success of your launch. So if you're wondering what Launch Like a Boss even is, well, it's a live 12-week program where I show you behind the scenes of my own ads. I show you exactly how to set up your ads, how to run your ads, and how to get amazing results with your ads. And I also show you exactly how I build funnels for myself and for my clients. Every week I email you a workshop that shows you step by step exactly how to set up the different components of the ads and the different components of your funnel. There are worksheets to guide you through the process, and you get email access to me throughout the entire program. So if you're planning a launch and you have an awesome product and you have it all mapped out, but you're not sure how you're actually going to be driving people to your sales page and you're not sure how to convince them to buy once they get there, then Launch Like a Boss is for you. Basically, Launch Like a Boss teaches you how to be your own ads manager, and it also shows you how to set up the sales funnels that you need in order to convert people into being buyers. Enrollment is open right now, and because it's a live program, it's only open for a limited amount of time. It opens today and it closes next week because we'll be starting the Monday after that. Also, be aware that the early bird sale is on right now, but it will actually end tomorrow at midnight Eastern Standard Time. What that means is that if you buy before tomorrow midnight, you can get $50 off your enrollment. And like I said, I already priced Launch Like a Boss pretty affordably, so $50 off makes it a deal you can't refuse, especially when you consider the impact that it's going to have on your business. So if you're ready to launch like a boss, then sign up now to join us for the next live session. It's time to stop launching like an amateur and learn how to actually advertise to attract paying customers.